Exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, home to the Asian Oprah, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Tiki Live, Amazon Music, JioSaavn, Podchaser, Rumble, and so many more, because I'm on a happy 88 mission. I'd like 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. So I have topics and guests, 924 podcast shows and counting, 572 consecutive weeks. I have to look down at the ticker now because I can't remember, and almost 11 years. But I am, I'm so glad people were wrong when they said you're not the show about good things and no political ranting and no scandal, no gossip, and no K words, no Kanye talk at all. Would not last. I'm glad they're wrong, because it has lasted. And I have had just a plethora of amazing guests. You saw in the little promo that plays while the NBC News is playing on my AM FM channel while you're driving in. That's why that plays. And I'm speechless this morning because I'm just so grateful. Sometimes when you just get in that place where you're just so grateful. So that means it's time to start with breakfast. And I know it's Friday because you see the one and only, the beautiful inside and out co-host of mine on Fridays. Her name is Elan Carter. She's the daughter of the founder of the Temptations. And that's why we call this series Tempting Conversations with Dr. Marissa and
Elan Carter. Good morning.
Well, hey. Hi, darling.
Good morning. How are you? I'm sleepy, but I'm up this morning and I'm on time.
Oh my gosh. I almost I thought it was Polly coming in the studio this morning, but I am so grateful. We're going to start right in. Breakfast with Dr. Marissa, starting with 8 specific things that we're grateful for in the morning. I am so grateful for this show because no matter how I'm feeling, when I wake up, I know, my feet and my fingers are trained. I set up the studio, get into the studio, know I'm going to do gratitude sandwich no matter how I'm feeling when I wake up. By the time I get to this place, I am grateful. And I'm so grateful that I have this opportunity to be on this platform for so many years, and for amazing co-hosts, friends, new friends that turn into co-hosts, and I have like a family. You are
a sister
new word.
Friend. I like your sister friend.
A sister and family, because your whole family are friends. A family. Right. That's a new one. I love making up
new words for the dictionary. Well, I'm going to have lots of grateful things, but I'm going to say that I'm grateful that even when I don't get to see you, because you live so far, I love you so much, but I live so far. And my friend asked me to go somewhere near your house last night. But I am grateful that I get to see you on Friday, no matter what. So I'm grateful for this show, and I'm grateful to be here, because even if I don't get a chance to talk to you, because my kids are a bit younger, so I'm a little bit more busy, but I'm still grateful I get to see you. It makes me happy. I know I don't like to get up in the morning. At least that makes me happy when I'm here.
That was what I was thinking in the bathroom this morning. It's a good thing. Even when we, I'm working 6 different jobs. She's got the kids and working and managing Chase's career and all of that. It is true. I always know, like, we'll catch up on Friday. So it feels good. I am grateful that I have just confirmed 2 amazing guests who've been in my studio before. I don't know if you know if you're into jazz, Elan, but Keiko Matsui is like #1 Billboard. She is the most recognized name in Japan. She's coming back on the show. She'll be performing at the Cerritos Performing Arts Center. Just confirmed that I get to give away a pair of tickets to the Cerritos Performing Arts Center for her concert. And I think you're going to be my date because I have an extra ticket.
Whether I like jazz or not, huh? I'm going.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to find a sea butter to go to before that. So
see, that's why we're sisters,
just to let you know.
She can say whether I want to go or not, you're going. I'm like, okay. But you know, when you say sea butter, I'm in anyway. They just
I know.
They just opened for lunch, the one that we go to in LA. They just opened lunch.
Have you gotten a sponsorship from them yet? Have you gotten a sponsorship from them?
I'm going to, because the owner, she's so sweet. And she has no idea that I have the show. You and I do this on Friday. So I have to tell her. We have to give her a promo and say we give you a plug literally every week because that's all we talk about.
Yeah, literally.
I'm grateful for sea butter. How about that? That's my second.
There you go. There you go. My last gratitude is I'm grateful that Dr. John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, a 71-year-old, very sexually active. He spoke at Secret Knock, the stage that I get to speak on as well. He remembered me. And so and his assistant remembers me he came on twice, I think in my first or second year. So that's a long time ago. That's like 10 years ago. So he's confirmed coming back May 3rd, I believe. So that's my last gratitude. I'm just so excited about that. Your turn. Last one.
My last one. I've had a pretty nice week. Been really busy the last 2 weeks with my son. And I'm grateful that I've had the opportunities that I've had with him. You know, doors are opening and I am grateful that I'm being led in the correct direction.
Yay. Going to the bottom of the button. So the difference between gratitude outside of yourself and appreciation, things that you like about yourself. I want you to work your muscle of self-approval because I believe it's my BS, my belief system, that self-love and self-care are the foundation of great mental health. So you don't need to pop the pill if you are feeling good most of the time. And that's an inside out job. We all know that. So this is your workout. What do you like about yourself? I like that I make up words and that I have fun with doing that.
Oh,
what do you appreciate?
We just made up probably 5 words in the first 5 minutes. I like that I have enough confidence in myself that I put myself first. And that's why I think I can help others because I'm not a competitive person and I'm not a jealous person. And I always want other people to do well and find the goodness of other people. Like I want us all to do well. I'm not that type of person. And I'm really grateful for that, especially as I get older, that I'm very grateful for being that way still.
Yes, I appreciate that about you very much. And I cannot say that I am as good, and I work on that. So I appreciate that I work on things, that I know that I'm not perfect. I know that I'm 88% fabulous, and 12% of the time I step in it. And I hate when I step in it. It sits there like a broken record. And if I don't use my discipline to say, you know what, it's okay, it's going to be okay. Yeah, you shouldn't have, but I'm not going to shit on myself more than one time. And and just, you know, being able to sit with things that didn't go well. I'm much better at that. I used to stay up all night to try to figure out how to fix things and, you know, make things right when I've done something that I'm feeling the consequences of. Now it's like, oh, well, I did it. Can't take it back. I feel bad. I know I didn't do it on purpose. I learned something from it, and this too shall pass. And I can't wait to see what good comes out of it. So that's like 3 appreciations. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, because I'm the same way. Like, I used to beat myself up about things, and I would be angry, and I'd hold it in, and I would play it in my head. And now I let it go. I'm grateful for that. I let it go. And when I know that what I have learned to do, when I don't think I'm wrong, I've learned to now approach it differently. Things that lead up to it to being a fiasco. I realize that I'm sometimes could be a little bit crass about how I say things, but it's always in a positive way. But some people can't take it, if I'm really honest. So I've learned to approach it so I don't hurt other people's feelings. That's not my intent. And I think that's why what you just said, why sometimes it can go sideways, because people will take it the wrong way. So I've learned how to maneuver my words a little bit better to get the results I want.
Beautiful. My last appreciation is I appreciate how I get defensive less. I still get defensive, but I get defensive less than I used to. So I appreciate that about myself. That's a big one.
I'm like that too. I work on that. I have to check myself when I'm finding myself. Because I see other people doing it in my family. I mean, I have 2 particular people that do it. And because I see how it comes across, that I'm always correcting my son and telling him, don't be defensive. Because when people see that, it's not because they have less respect for you, but it's so obvious. So just like if you messed up, you messed up. So just admit it and move on.
Yeah. I tell myself a lot. INTBOAD, INTBOAD, which stands for it's not that big of a deal.
She's making up words again.
So I love you. All right. And that is Breakfast with Dr. Marissa and Elan Carter, co-host of Tempting Conversations with Dr. Marissa. Thanks for having breakfast with us. I promise if you do this 30 days in a row, gratitude in the morning, appreciation before you go to bed, you will have an amazing sandwiched positive day. Money back guarantee. So I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but I was going to say, and we can make fun of ourselves about it after the fact.
This is almost like not fair that this is work, you know?
Because we're always silly in the morning. I don't know, maybe because it's Friday, we both have our coffee, then we end up being silly. And then we were like, okay, we didn't get to finish the conversation. So we're starting early today so we could finish our conversation.
Yes, absolutely. So our conversation this morning is a continuation, and actually we could do this for the rest of our lives, is talk about things that tempt us. And the fun thing about that is, you know, both of us are so shy. Sarcasm is another service I offer. We are great models of, you know, it's okay to be real. It's okay to make fun of ourselves. It's okay to be open about things that maybe people aren't so open about. And so hopefully we are that to you every Friday morning, because we will speak our minds. And Elan, last week when we started this mini series of tempting conversations, what tempts you, she said there's something that she's not going to tell us on the air. So I figured I would bribe her.
I don't remember saying that. She's bringing it up. So how am I supposed to remember what happened last week when I can't remember what happened yesterday? What tempts me?
Uh,
Jeez, I don't
okay.
remember. I had probably some crazy thought in my mind that I probably don't want to say on the air, and we not get ourselves in trouble anyway.
Anyways, we will. We always do. We always do. That's the part of the fun. I know there's people waiting in the
Let me think
sidelines
about what I
for
was talking about.
extortion.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
but I'm
I thought you would remember,
No.
but you'll remember before the end of the show. But I
Yeah.
thought we would also talk about what Sam and I talked about yesterday. And this is about, temptations as well, about in a relationship, in a committed relationship, is it okay to have a BFF, best friend, who is of the opposite sex, or in the case of partners, same sex, okay? Anything that is potentially going to threaten or tempt both ends a relationship. So I gave my 8 cents worth yesterday. I'm curious as to your opinion on that, and I'll try to remember what Sam said.
We should have
So,
Sam.
what do
on.
you think? Huh?
We should have Sam. I would love to dig his brain. Well, this is interesting. I do like this conversation because I am married and my husband has female friends. And I said earlier, I'm not a jealous person. If you're disrespectful in my marriage, and I know that you have a motive, and women can tell you. We don't have to catch you cheating. We could just walk in a room and catch the vibes. Whether you're psychic or not, if a woman is interested in your man, or vice versa, right? So women usually can tell if someone's having an affair. It doesn't go the same for men because, like my husband has said to me, the male friends always have a motive to want to at some point sleep with you. Now, a lot of my friends are gay. That's okay. But I have a few friends that are people I've known for a long time. Some of them I call them big brothers, but any new friends, he always has an attitude. Like, I'm like, oh, that's my male friend, which I have some guys that are my men friends. Now, men, I want you to know this. When we friend you, you were in the friend zone, because when you get in the friend zone, you stay in the friend zone, because women are the hunters. We can meet you the first 5 minutes. I know right away if I want to sleep with you immediately. Now, I'm not saying in rare cases that doesn't happen, that it does graduate. Sometimes it does, but usually I know instantly, and I just sit back and I'll just take my time. Not saying I would do it right away, but I know. So if I like you as a friend, you're gonna be my friend. Right? But men know how they think. And so they know that if a woman's attractive, because they're physical about sex, it's all about how aesthetically she looks and they can get aroused. We're not the same physically. So it has to be a stimulation of some emotion. I mean, we can look at a guy and think he's hot, but there's still some attraction there right away for a woman. There's something about him that we may think is sexy. But if we don't have that physical attraction instantly, you become my friend, it's not going to happen, right? So we feel that we can have male friends. Our spouses have a problem with it because they know that given the opportunity, one of their really good friends, if it's someone they're attracted to, they won't think 2 seconds, because it's just like once the act's over, they're like, oh, okay, I'm good. Us,
So
we like you. Like, once we do that act, that because we like you.
okay, so is it possible that someone in the friend zone, that started in the friend zone, that after a few years of being there for that person, and then it becomes so clear that that relationship, they're much more empathetic, they're much more supportive than your husband, soon to be husband, and that contrast, they come out of the friend zone, emphasis on come. Is that possible? that person moves that person moves out of the friend zone and becomes a temptation, not because they're a dog or because they had that intention, but just because of uh, 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 the natural, bonding that can
The emotion.
occur when you spend a lot of time with someone and you do things together and they get you and you get them in a way that your partner doesn't. That's what I've seen happen. And those are the ones where I say, um, maybe it's not a good idea to pursue a friend, even a friend zoned friend, because of the possibility that that could happen. Thoughts?
Well, that goes back to my original question. If that happens, that man probably always was attracted to you. For us, we probably weren't attracted to them. But because women want to have emotional stability, if they're not getting what they want emotionally from their partner, is why when they'll go outside of that partnership. And I think that's why men are insecure about it. Because for us, we just need the nurturing. It's almost like the daddy syndrome, that not because your dad wasn't there, but you want to feel secure and safe. Now, for me, that hasn't happened with me, right? I'm not that type of person, but I think more like a male when it comes to the physical thing of attraction and dating. But my best friend, her husband just passed away. My best friend ended up marrying her husband because she lived with a guy that he managed. Like, he managed this guy. The guy wasn't treating her right. He was abusing her. And one day they've been friends because he was always at the house. He was always there. She told me about it. And he's like, hi, you okay? I'm sorry. He did the whole sympathy thing. And literally the word that you just said, that you put emphasis on it, it just took that one time and it was over. And I remember that she moved out and she married him and had 3 kids, and the manager and him, the artist, didn't speak for years. But actually at his funeral just a couple of weeks ago, he literally just passed away. He was much older than her. So that also played into, he knew how to get her emotionally because he had a lot more experience. She was very young, but she was happy. And so now the original guy she was with, he actually came and they ended up making friends because he knew he didn't treat her right. So that instance was different. There are those guys that if you're in a relationship, and I'm not talking about the non-committed ones, the committed ones, a lot of times what guys don't realize, it's their friends that will prey on your spouse, because they wait for that opportunity for you to mess up. Because it's happened to me when guys that I've dated, their friends are like, oh, he's mistreating you. Oh, he's not acting right. And they'll come at me. Now I've done that. I've dated someone's friend for that very reason, but I was always attracted to that person. And I didn't cross that line at that time because it was their friend, because I don't believe in doing that. But when the guy didn't act right, I was fair game then. And so, yes, I did do that. But it was because I was always, goes back to, I was attracted to that person. If I'm dating someone, if I'm friends with someone and we could be friends for years and we get that bonding, then you become like my brother. That's for me, but I can't speak for other women. I see you as like a big brother. And I have a couple of guys like that still right now. But my husband always says, oh, yeah, that's the guy that wants to hook up with you. He always says that. I'm like, no, because I don't want to, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, that's what you get for being sexy. So I think that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. I'm saying and he has female friends. And I don't say anything about it because I'm like, you're going to do what you're going to do regardless. And I don't want any of his friends. He has one good looking friend. And I always tell him, I was like, you mess up, I'm going after him. No, I'm just teasing. I'm not. He's not that type of person, but I do tease him. I was like, you only have one good looking friend, so you have nothing to worry about.
Well, this is an example of one of those conversations that you don't necessarily talk about and are real about, but you know, it's in the movies, and most often those friend zones end up romantically involved, right? By the end of the story, it's a love story. The other thing that it reminded me of is that whole taboo around dating your ex's friends. Like, it's not easy to meet someone you're attracted to and then right, and have that chemistry. So what is wrong with it? Didn't work with them. You know that other person, you have the chemistry, but so many people are like, you know, how dare they come after you're not with them anymore. So why is it so wrong to date your ex or to date your ex's best friend? Or, you know, that's one of those funny, it's like an unspoken rule in life, right? You do not go after.
I have a couple of guys when I was younger that my friends ended up dating that I found out about. I had one particular friend ask me if she can go out with this guy because I told her, well, I used to date that guy. And I was like, I don't care. And he wouldn't date her, which was surprising because she's a really beautiful girl. He wouldn't go out with her. So I realized then he actually must have liked me more than I thought because I didn't think he liked me like that. It was very casual. You know, usually I'm okay if I date someone casually. If it's someone that I was really into or someone I was really in love with and my friends know that, then for me, I think it's off limits because I wouldn't do it. I personally wouldn't do it. If I knew that you really love that person and I'm your friend, and even though we have chemistry, I just can't do it consciously and still be your friend. But people do it. It's just not my thing. It depends on who it is, right? When I first started dating Keith, I said to one of my girlfriends, I was like, "Did you date this guy?" Like, I called my friends because LA is so small, and I'm like, "Did you date this guy? I want to go out with this guy." You know, because a lot of girls date this, especially during that time I was modeling, and so all the girls were all model friends. We all date the same guys because they go out to the same type of girls, right? So I would say, "Did you date that one? Did you, you know?" And it could be people that are not in the business. It was still you know, I dated professional guys, but they still went after the same girl. So we've crossed paths, me and my friends, several times. We have. But if it's someone I'm really into, I just think it's not okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it comes from a societal lack and limitation view, the BS, the belief system that, you know, there's only one person that you're meant to be with and it's a soulmate. And therefore, if you've already, you know, had that person, then, you know, they're off limits to any of your friends because that's that ownership, or, you know, you can't have what I have. And I think that really limits. I'm not saying to go to the other extreme of dating, you know, like, oh, line up, you know, assembly line. That didn't work with us, and go to the next friend and the next friend. I'm not talking about that, but I think that some of our societal norms are limiting. I think just like religions, you know, no premarital sex, and for millennials, they don't even know. They don't even know what premarital sex means.
The thing is, I mean, chemistry is.
Oh man, I was so excited because your stream was not freezing at all today, and I thought, oh, she moved it to a different area, but you just froze. So I'm gonna kick you out of and have you come back in because you have a nice smile, but you are frozen. Okay, Elan, you're gonna have to come back in. We'll let her come back in. And while she is coming back in, I'm going to go ahead and take a station ID. And we'll be right back with more tempting conversation here on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News Radio, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, the station that leaves no listener behind. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Dr. Marissa here. You know me as the Asian Oprah and the host producer of your daily morning 8 a.m. show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every weekday morning on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. And I have a question for you. Did you know that collagen accounts for 30% of your body's protein? It provides structure, support, and strength to your skin, muscles, bone, and connective tissues. It's not a fat or pill. It's a scientifically developed formula easily added to your diet, combining 5 types of collagen, the moisturizing power of hyaluronic acid, and biotin. Collagen relieves joint inflammation while stimulating growth and repair of cartilage tissue. In short, Revive helps heal your body from the inside out. Get ready to feel alive and revived with Brightcore at www.tryrevivenow.com. Why? Because you deserve to love your life.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, and as the eyeballs are here, thank you for streaming. You are welcome to give your 8 cents worth or ask Elan and I any question about taboo conversations, tempting conversations, anything that tempts you. That's the topic today. And I'm so delighted to have my beautiful Inside and Out co-host, Elan Carter. Welcome back to the show.
Hello. I had a little bit of technical difficulties, but I was in the middle of something. I don't remember what I was saying. What was I saying?
And before we get back into tempting, tomorrow's Earth Day. So I'm going to challenge you all, excuse me, to do something good for the earth and the planet, whether that is recycling, whether that is taking a shorter shower, whether it is, anything to do with not wasting. I think that is a great theme for tomorrow. I'm going to be posting a little clip tomorrow on my social, Doc Balance on Instagram, Dr. Marissa everywhere else, that is going to highlight some of the people that I met yesterday at Earth Day when I was out at IEAU, Inland Empire Utilities Agency, UA, one of my corporate clients, and they had a great Earth Day there. So I'll be playing that clip tomorrow. But happy Earth Day 2023. I think that all of the things that we're currently doing to move from pollutants to hold companies accountable that are polluting. There's a lot of really good documentaries on Netflix, The Cove, if you haven't seen it, or from, Cove, Blackfish. There's one on the fishing industry. All those, if you watch those instead of your series, it would be great for you to contribute tomorrow for Earth Day. So that's a public service announcement for tomorrow. And we're back with what tempts you and things that we're talking about that maybe don't get talked about a lot. And one of the societal norms is what we were talking about that get people in trouble sometimes. That mine was, don't date anyone that you've dated before. But how is that, that's from a place of there's only one person for you, or they're now my property just because I've dated them, examining those things that tempt you. And is it okay or not okay? Does that help you remember?
I was going to say people come in your lives for a reason. That I think that as we evolve and we're more awoken, that I'm learning now that it was a lesson. It didn't work out for a reason. But sometimes you elevate yourself and one person is not on your level. And sometimes you move on. Things don't go.
Oh boy.
So
You're,
need to let's move on. I don't know what's going on with my I'm sorry.
Yeah, your Wi-Fi is breaking up again. So you just sounded a lot like Darth Vader, a pretty Darth Vader.
Oh, I did. So it's clear. It's clear on my end. It's clear on my end. It's not breaking up, which is weird because I can hear you perfectly. But what I was saying was, we have to learn lessons. Can you not hear me still?
It's not that I can't hear you, but you sound like this.
Really?
That's how it comes out. And I want to be able to hear it. But yeah, I'll let you move around a bit and see if there's okay. So let's see. I talked yesterday about being able to how do we respect our partners? Is it our responsibility to not put ourselves in situations that might lead to cheating? And so cheating is another thing that we don't necessarily talk about. We just say it's absolutely wrong. It's bad. And once you cheat, you're never going to get that relationship back because you can never trust that person. And so I'll put that piece on the table. Yes, that's better. Is it true that it's your a little bit better? Oh, you can't hear me now. Is it true that you should not put yourself in a situation where you're tempted to cheat? So that is like, so therefore you have to choose that you're not a cheater. Yes, go ahead. Can you hear me now?
I can't hear anything, but I'm going to log on and log off. I think you can hear me because
so just keep talking.
Okay, I'm going to keep talking because I can't hear anything you're saying. Yeah. What I was going to say is people enter our lives, right, for a reason because we have to evolve and we have to learn something. And it doesn't mean that they're meant to stay there because sometimes we are the blessing for them too. We're supposed to help them graduate. And once we graduate, then sometimes the relationship doesn't work because we need to move on to the next person. But the problem is we get emotionally attached and we can't separate that, right? We want to hold on. Now that we've evolved as humans and we're more awoken, now we understand that. So you need to go to the next level. Maybe the person that is your friend who's attracted to your significant other, maybe it's meant for them to be together so they can learn something and graduate. And so going back to what you originally said, it's part of a schooling. And I don't think that we realize that we're learning love and emotion through schooling being on this planet, right? So that's just my take on responding to what you said. And I think our egos won't allow us to allow that to happen when people want to get together. And that's what we have to learn how to do. Our pride and ego and what others think, and then we get embarrassed. That plays into everything.
Absolutely. I wish I could 100% agree.
I'm going off and coming back.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with you. See if she can read my lips. I am agreeing with Elan right now. We're absolutely on the same page. I do believe that our world would be, can you imagine a world where you have a relationship and it doesn't work out? And instead of being bitter and angry and, mad that relationship didn't work out, what would life be like is every single person that you have a relationship with and you go for a certain time whether it's 30 days or 90 days or 9 months or a lifetime, whatever that chapter with that person is okay. And they're not a bad person. You're not a bad person. There just wasn't a match for longer than what you had. I mean, that would, for me, I think that would mean world peace. Look at all the drama that happens because your ego, as Elan just said, your ego doesn't let you let go of that person. You know,
Yeah.
what would peace on earth would come if all of us said, you know what, great guy, great gal, we had great times, and this is what I learned about myself. I like this, I don't like that. I like this, I don't like that. And bless you as you find the next chapter in your book of romance. And I'm going to do the same. No harm, no foul. And if you want to date my best friend because you guys connected on a level that we didn't, bless you. Have some fun. See how your chapter turns out.
But this is the
I don't know
question.
if that's possible. Yeah.
Can you, so when, and that happens because we think that we have ownership of that person because we have that relationship. The question is, can you be friends with them still? That's the problem, because that's when the ego and the pride comes in, especially if you have children with that person. If you have kids with that person, you're going to always have some kind of communication interaction, no matter how old they are, right? So can you stay friends with your friend who got with your spouse?
That's you were talking about the evolution. You know, can we evolve ourselves out of the ego, let go my ego, you know, and can we get to that place where all those ownership, my territory, how dare you, can you let that go? You know, so I think, I don't know if polyamorism is necessarily the solution to go all the way over to that, but I do believe there's a balance, a middle ground where, I think I don't have to be best friends with them. I'm human. It would hurt my feelings for a California minute, right? But I'm not going to spend the rest of my life being bitter about it. Now, I shared my own experience with my friend who actually ended up, her husband had an affair with the another preschool mom. That was the conversation yesterday with Sam about my friend. And is she friends with that woman? No. Right. There's no reason to be friends with her because their kids are growing. So there's no, you know, but does my friend still have some bitterness? Of course, she's human. They said that they didn't have a physical relationship. Right? Both of them said they didn't have a physical relationship, but that's the other thing. Can you have an affair without having sex? I think you can. Emotional intimacy is a real thing, right? You can be emotionally cheating on your significant other because you are communicating and being, you know, close to someone else in a way that you aren't with your partner. So that, to answer your question, from a personal standpoint, I wouldn't say you have to be friends, but you ask the question, how resentful are you? Can you let that go? And it's all because of what you said earlier. There's a reason. There's always a reason why people are in a relationship. It's either, somebody told me this when I was young, I never forgot it, and I taught my kids this. You're with that person to either be with them long term or to learn something. Right? Every single relationship is in either one of those categories or both. So sorry, go ahead.
No, I forgot what I was going to say. No, you know, there was an incident when I was younger. I shouldn't even talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it. I dated someone that my friend, I'm going to circle back because I say that's not okay, but I actually did do that. I dated someone that my friend was dating, right? So the reason why and how I justified, I talked to my mother about it. I was friends with this girl, associate. She wasn't a friend. And my first boyfriend, she told me she was his cousin and she was sleeping with my boyfriend. And we're like 16 years old. But she has a kid by him, but she's like 19. And then she has a child with him. We end up working together, like modeling together. And so years later, we meet, there's a guy involved that she just started dating. And the guys start asking me out. And I said, listen, I'm friends with her. And, you know, I can't date you. They had just started dating because I don't feel comfortable. And my mother says, isn't that the girl that had the baby by your first boyfriend? Because I was so heartbroken. At that time, she didn't have a baby, but she was dating him. And I was like, yeah. And my mom was like, well, why would you feel bad? Because not only was she dating him, she told you she was his cousin. So when she was around, you wouldn't even know. It wasn't like they played it off. So go ahead. And I did. And she was really resentful. But I went to her and I told her beforehand, I said, listen, I'm going to tell you something and I want to make sure you're okay with it before I do that. And we're cool now, like years later, because it didn't work out between him and I anyway. But we just kind of connected, you know, and we both evolved and her and I are cool.
Yeah.
So that I did.
Yeah.
But she did it to me first. I'm tit for tat. I am tit for tat. I will tell you, I am if you do something to me, I'm going to get you back.
Yeah. What? Yeah, I understand tit for tat. What I don't understand, this is totally segueing to something completely different. Why do people feel the need to criticize and put you down when you've done nothing to them?
Yeah, this is
like
true.
I understand
because they judge and no one should judge people.
Like, why is that such a norm?
Because
and
there's
social media.
Because there's something in themselves that they don't have. And if they see something in you that you have, they will criticize you because it bothers their core, right? You have a successful show. You know, are Dr. Marissa. And like, who do you think you are being the Asian Oprah? Like, even though, right, you're you're doing your thing, you're happy, they don't have something. And so they're resentful because their life is not going the way. That's really what it boils down to. People are not happy with themselves and they're not successful with what they've done. And then they get to an age where, well, maybe it's too late for me. I haven't done anything with myself. It's never too late to do something. So they're going to criticize other people because they didn't have an opportunity. You know, this is why we're at war with each other in our own country. Our fellow Americans are fighting each other for no reason. Like, well, you don't fight your own people. It's just stupid because we're at war each other because we think that you have something that we don't have. So I'm angry with you because you were able to get a piece of the pie and I don't have a piece of the pie. When we all could have the piece of pie. It might not be as big of a piece of pie, but we should all have a piece of pie. That's all it is, you know? If you have nothing better to do with your life than to criticize me, well, what are you doing? That's your success to waste your energy, because we're energy, you know, as beings. So you waste your energy being negative when you could be positive and bring positivity to yourself. You get what you put.
Yeah, true that. It reminds me of that saying, instead of looking at the grass that's greener on the other side, water your own lawn.
Thank you. And you never know what you're going through or what I'm going through. Internet, I find that the social media, which my son's publicist, we always have this issue because I know it's important nowadays to have the numbers. We get that. You and I had this conversation. But I find it to be fake fame, because what you see on social media is not really what people's lives are. This is just an image, and this is just a facade. It's like being a model. When I take this makeup off and then take my hair off and go to bed, you're going to be like, that doesn't look like the same person. But I am creating an image of something that you might find appealing. And that's what social media is. So you don't know what that person's going through behind closed doors to criticize them. This is their job or their career to create this facade to make you like them. And so now we base people on this Instagram stuff when people are living in a studio apartment, barely making it, but have 1 million followers. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but but they're famous, right?
Yeah.
So do the work.
Yeah, totally. I just, it always just amazes me, and people will call me naive when I'm attacked or there's a negative comment or someone actually did that. Who do you think you are? When I was in the news quite a bit over something that happened as an expert, and it's just this like
jealousy.
I don't understand, or it's very difficult for me to not take it personally. And I realize that's my stuff. That's my stuff.
We talked about
I know.
You internalize it, and you have to, you get to a certain age, and I should be like that too, but I have to let it go. It caused me, I believe, how people treated me caused me to be sick, right? I told you, because I'm a cancer survivor. And one of the things my doctor said, let it go. If something doesn't make you happy and doesn't serve you, then you address it and you move on. And a lot of people don't like the new Elan, but I don't plan on dealing with that journey again. I don't want to be ill again. I want to be healthy. And so for me, mentally, I have to be healthy. So if you do something that does not make me happy, I'm going to address it right then and there and move on. And my girlfriend has a saying, and I'm going to say this in a way so I don't get in trouble. If you're mad, scratch your, you know what, and get glad. And just keep saying that and move on. Let it go. That is your issue, not mine. I'm going to make myself happy.
Yeah. I'm better at it, but it's still like it sits a little heavy. I don't like being humiliated, and I was humiliated publicly, and just that it like sits there, right?
It's
and
social media
for me.
We didn't grow up on social media, so the social media gives people a platform to be a total Nimrod. Let it go. We're not happy. We're happy.
Let it go.
We are going to go.
Let it go.
We're going to have sea butter, and we're going to be happy, and we're going to talk Taki on Friday.
Yes.
Friday.
There it is. Oop, there it is. Oop, there it is.
There it
Let
is.
it go.
Oop, there it is. Whoop, there it is.
As we goof ourselves off of the air, we are in the last minute.
I got one last thing. I went to Flippers last night.
Quick.
I went to Flippers.
You went what?
Roller skate. I went to Flippers. If anyone knows, in LA, Flippers was big in the 80s. And it was on the corner of La Cienega and Santa Monica. And they brought it like a pop-up. And I went to Flippers. My feet hurt. And I busted my butt. I'm too old to be on roller skates, but it was fun. I went to... There it is.
You heard it here. Oop, there it is. This is Dr. Marissa and my co-host on Tempting Conversations with Dr. Marissa and
Elan Carter.
It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Amazing.
Now, don't forget to tune in next week. Amazing shows as usual. But in the meantime, go and have the best weekend ever.